Please join us in welcoming Fratello Cigars to the Klaro portfolio. Virginia-based but Italian-inspired and internationally acclaimed, Fratello has gone through a ton of changes since its inception in 2013. Founded by a NASA analyst by the name of Omar de Frias, Fratello has gone on to be recognized not only for its fantastic boutique premium cigar blends, but for also being the first cigar manufacturer on the moon. While my inner nerd would go on and on about the aerospace side of this story, we are here today to talk about the premium cigar blends that we've started selling from Fratello. Fratello's blends come from two sources, both very old and both the oldest actually in their respective countries. One of those being Joya de Nicaragua, which has been around since 1968, if memory serves. The other being La Aurora, which has been around since, 1903 in the Dominican Republic. So here we have two very different cigar manufacturers from two very different countries, and both very well respected, producing premium cigar blends for a very boutique brand with an interesting backstory. And while not all of Fratello's cigars have some form of aerospace inspiration behind them, or name for that matter, they all are very different in their own regard, which we will discuss at this particular moment. Up first on the list is the Fratello Classico, which is an Habano sun-grown wrapped cigar that has a Sumatran binder inside, along with filler blends coming from Nicaragua and Peru. This blend is recognized for being peppery but also creamy and walking that medium line between being really intense and really smooth and milky. As to be expected, the Sumatran binder adds a fair deal of chai tea-like spice notes to the cigar, and the Habano sun-grown wrapper end of it just keeps it all in check, especially that Peruvian side of the filler blend, which can be pretty earthy. Then we have Fratello's Oro, which is an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapped cigar that has a Cameroon binder from Africa underneath it, followed by a trifecta of fillers, including Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Colombian tobaccos. This is a mild cigar that doesn't lack in flavor, something that's a little on the peppery, but not spicy end, so you get the pepper flavor without the pepper heat, and lots of herbal vegetable undertones, and by vegetable, it's vegetative. The grassy herbal undertones to this cigar make for a nice contrast to that creamy, milky, buttery, honey-like Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper. Definitely a mild cigar that is intended to appease a ton of people. Sitting on the complete opposite end of the spectrum is the Bianco 3, or Bianco the Third, however you prefer to refer to it, which is a Mexican San Andres Maduro wrap cigar that has a Dominican binder behind it, followed by a very peculiar trifecta of long filler ingredients. That side of the blend is a Nicaraguan, Peruvian, and USA grown Pennsylvania broadleaf Ligero leaf, which is notably very rough and rugged, but with these other ingredients turns into a spiced chocolatey mocha horchata-like experience. A very popular cigar for Fratello, and one that we think you dark Maduro fans are gonna flip over. The fourth cigar that we pulled in from the Fratello portfolio to add to our own is the Lunar Connecticut. This cigar may have an Ecuadorian shade-grown Connecticut wrapper on the outside, but it's got a Mexican binder behind it, as well as a little bit of a leathery mixture of filler ingredients. While there is a Cameroon wrapped version of the Lunar, the Connecticut shade-grown version that we stock at Klaro now has a filler blend that is Dominican and Cameroon based, which turns this light looking cigar into something that's a little bit bolder than it looks. Still on the milder end of the spectrum, but definitely something that is intended to appease those of us who like something that's a little on the cedary side, leathery and earthy end. The complexity of the cigar is far greater than it appears on paper, and is definitely one that you will want to try as soon as you can, especially if you're in that mild to medium range of smokers typically. So stay tuned for reviews from yours truly coming soon of all 4 of these cigars from Fratello. And in the interim, pick out a 5-pack of something that strikes your fancy, because we've got them all in stock right now, and they are wonderful in their own individual regard.